944-979-2669.
Well, the June job numbers have beaten market expectations. We've been talking about that, but let's dig in. Nearly 150,000 good jobs were created last month, and according to the White House, American-born workers have accounted for all of those gains. So what's happening here? The report also details the number of foreign-born workers has fallen by 543,000 since January. President Trump deportating illegal. Oh, I don't know. Let's keep going. All right. So native-born workers jumped more than 2 million in the same frame. What do you think is happening here, Larry?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with border security.
Yep.
And the fact that nobody's crossing the border.
543,000 fewer foreign-born?
Yeah, the numbers are right. I did the numbers this morning. Since January, native-born jobs have gone up 2.1 million. Foreign-born jobs have gone down by 543,000. This is a good thing, in my opinion. Interestingly, wages for all the native-born workers are entering. Wages are good. They're rising at least 4% year on year. That's about twice the inflation rate. So wages for a change are rising faster
Why
than
is
prices. I think that the money supply is being controlled. I think that the Federal Reserve is probably too tight, but we've had a slide down in inflation. Let's see, since January, the inflation rate is
That's a good slide.
1.4% at an annual rate since January. I happen to agree with President Trump. Jay Powell, the head of the Fed, should be cutting interest rates, giving us a break on mortgages.
I think he gets that message. He's gotten to fight so many people.
But border security has stopped essentially cheap labor. Some people call it slave labor, okay? And I'm in favor of legal immigration for the workforce or specific visas where that's appropriate, H-1B technology stuff. But all this flooding into the zone of foreign-born workers is insanity, and it's holding down wages. It's one of the reasons why real wages went down during the Biden years. Ordinary working folks lost money because it was taken by the illegals.
Kayla.
You know, this is a crazy concept, but here we go. The American economy for Americans. I love these numbers. They're great news. And it also just goes to show that the Trump administration is taking very seriously the need to revive the manufacturing base. And I find it very condescending when those on the left and even some on the right sort of dismiss manufacturing jobs and argue that we should just leave those behind in the 20th century and move everyone to white collar work. Listen, I have family in Ohio they've worked in manufacturing their entire lives. My mother-in-law has worked in the same exact auto plant since she was a teenager. Her dad worked in that auto plant before her. And you know what it provided? It provided good pay, good benefits, and most importantly, the opportunity to provide a better life for her kids. My husband ended up being the first person in his family to graduate from college, and that would not have been possible without that job. And the fact is,
you're not opposed to legal immigration.
No, but I agree that Americans do need to come first, and they need to be paid wages that they'll want to work for.
But sometimes we need help, from other countries. I mean, legal immigrants have done a lot for this country. I mean, I argue it's tough on the border, but I think the problem is we are so screwed up with the State Department and visas and passports and stuff. It takes years and years for good people to come in here. People love them and want to help them.
Yeah, I want to get everybody in here. Go ahead, Riley.
My husband is a legal immigrant. He has a concrete company in Nashville, Tennessee. What he's been able to provide is jobs for Americans. He loves it here. He loves the U.S. He is so grateful to be here. Of course, he pays his taxes. He is so fortunate. It was so funny. Of course, July 4th is always like a sore subject in our house as he's from England. I always remind him that he was born on the wrong side of the revolution. But it's so funny because coming here in 2018, it was more like testy to say that, but now he has no problem admitting.
Have you forgiven him?
I've forgiven him. I've forgiven him. Now he has this really cute, like British Southern accent. It's the best. But he always
I met your husband. That was what I heard. I couldn't figure out what I heard, but it is a Southern British accent.
But all this to say, he has been able to, with his business, with his company as a legal immigrant, provide jobs for Americans. And it was Donald Trump that issued him his green card, not Joe Biden. Joe Biden denied him his green card for 3 years because he wouldn't get the COVID vaccine. So all of this to say, Donald Trump is not anti-immigration. Really, he's pro-immigration. He's doing it, of course, he's pro-legal immigration, very important distinction.
Legal
But the left
immigrants
can't
have
seem
helped
to.
make this country great.
That's right.
But it's good to see the rebalancing now at the border.
Yeah.
So ultra cheap labor, some people call it slave labor, is not taking away jobs from whatever. It could be manufacturing or cement, whatever it is. This is a very good trend.
Emily.